Blog Talk Radio.
Are you tired of the same old radio?
Sure am.
You need an outlet to show who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hear great TV reviews and original shows?
Sounds good.
Or just new ways to keep up on the Jags?
Let's go, Jags. Woo, woo, woo.
Join us on Teal Time Radio.
The station that matters. 'Cause you matter.
Welcome to Teal Time Radio. This is your host, CT Jags. Alongside him is beautiful Miss Chrissy.
Hey, everybody.
Now, we wanted to start today's show on a more traditional note and say Happy Memorial Day to all the soldiers out there.
And we send you all a salute.
You know, they are the real heroes of today.
They sure do. They go out there and they fight for our country and keep us safe every day, you know?
They are the men and women who, you know, fight for our country, like you stated.
Yep.
And actually give us our freedoms that we have today.
Exactly.
The fact that we can breathe today and not have to worry about, you know, for the most of, you know, the United States.
We don't have to worry about chemical warfare. Oh, boy. We don't have to worry about any bombs going off or grenades being on the ground and getting stepped on. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, or walking out of our house and getting shot at.
Exactly. I mean, this is just stuff I hear off of the news.
So if there's any military people out there that would like to share any stories, we're not going to downgrade you or anything. You're welcome to give a call in at 917-889-7873. Once again, it's 917-889-7873.
Please call in. I mean, we'd really love to hear from you. The show is all for you, about you, you know. You guys are well respected.
But anyway, okay. You know, today, you know, Memorial Day, it's, you know, a great celebration for all those that paved the way, who actually gave a damn, you know, so we can be free. And my hats are off to everyone, you know, that has done that. And that continues to do that, because without you, we have no freedoms. We
wouldn't have anything.
We have no, you know, how do I explain it?
Rights. We'd have no rights.
We'd have no rights. We'd be told exactly what to do all the time.
How to do it.
And we'd be more like robots.
Yep, exactly. So like I said, hats off to all our military guys. We salute you.
Exactly.
That's the utmost respect for you.
Now, I was going to be joined by a good friend of mine, you know, from the military, but I guess he's got other plans tonight, and that's understandable.
No problem. You know, the guy probably has to get up early in the morning to go to work, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
We send him a salute and lots of respect to him and all the guys, too.
I will say that, you know, coming from, you know, knowing many, you know, friends of mine and family members that have been served in the, you know, active military,
exactly.
that we have, you know, the best military in the world, in my opinion. You know, our military actually takes care of our active soldiers.
Yes, it does. And
even the ones that go on, I know some people will say, well, they no longer care, but that's not true. They have, you know, I've been to some of the veterans, VA hospitals and whatnot. I've seen that they, you know, hand them out, you know, food and clothes and all kinds of good stuff.
Well, when I was getting my certification for nurse's aide, we had to work at a VA hospital. And, yes, they took very good care of our military men, you know. And I was very happy to see that. Just to walk in a room and say, hey, one day I walked into a room to this man, and he was laying in bed, and he was real sick. I don't remember what was wrong with him. He couldn't get out of bed, and he was just the nicest man. And I'd say, hey, gorgeous, how are you? Blue eyes? And his face would light up. It was nice.
It lit up like a Christmas tree, huh?
Yes, it did. Just the time. I took the time to spend 5 minutes with him just to talk to him.
Oh, wait a second. We do have
a caller.
Hello, welcome to Teal Time Radio. How are you? Why is it not?
Yeah.
Hello.
What's that?
What's up? Welcome to Teal Time Radio.
What's that? I can hardly hear you.
Okay, can you hear us?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. We are joined by Dominic Giuliano.
Hey, Dominic. Like we
How you
said,
doing?
you a salute.
What's going on?
How's your night going?
It's going. It's good. Long Memorial Day.
Yeah, and we're talking about, the soldiers and those that actively serve in the military, and
Right.
the fact that you do. What are some of the great benefits of actually serving?
Well, that's a great question. It's more of not the benefits of serving. It's the pride of belonging to a
Yes.
organization that has been around since the country has started.
Exactly, and the best in the entire world.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, we have a lot of things that we've been involved in the last 10 years. However, we've always, as the American spirit has always been, more or less, the driving force of, setting the stage of how we do things around the world.
Exactly. So what do you love about your job?
I think it comes down to is, working with for what I do, I mean, is working with the, general public, offering jobs to some of these, kids and, college grads and stuff like that. And so this way they could carry on the tradition of how we've been in business for over 275 years.
That's a long time.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's job security if there ever was any.
Well, it comes down to is, you give a kid an opportunity that you didn't have prior, or somebody out there, just goes out there and just said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to, serve our country. Say, hey, what do I got to do to become a part of this? And I think what it comes down to as well is, giving an opportunity to a kid or young adult to be able to come into this business and stay or do 4 years, 6 years, or something like that, and go into a veteran status, puts them in a different place. If you know what I mean, it's puts them in the the rest of that those people. It's like, okay, yeah, I served. Whether I did 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, they all got something in common because they're all veterans.
That is very true. And you could also
Absolutely.
tell them what the experience like is, in the beginning, just going into the military.
Well, okay, for me, right, you've known me about 30 years.
That's correct.
Coming in the military, preferably when I can speak, about the Navy. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Going into it, there's a lot of question marks. What happens next? What's it all about? What's behind the curtain? And stuff like that. And it takes a lot of courage to say, hey, put your hand in the air and says, yeah, I'll serve, and, for me in the beginning was, there was, a couple turns in my life where it's like, okay, well, I was not so happy of what I was doing at the time, and, I was looking elsewhere because, Connecticut was one of those places where, okay, the biggest thing is it's like, well, there's got to be something else out there. And, and just a bright light went off in my head and says, maybe we should look at the Navy. And, at that point, I started doing a little bit of research, talked to the recruiter, and off I went.
Well, that also takes a very special man to be able to join the military.
Yes, and you would be surprised. You take, a kid, and we're a lot older now. You take a kid, from somewhere that needs a little direction, a little structure. Those kids usually turn out to be real good sailors, and they do their job. They've learned that they're groomed. They're disciplined. They're structured. They transform. We call that sailorization.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
How many people have you recruited since you started?
Well over 1,000.
Wow. And how many years have you been in?
I've been in for 13 and a half years.
That's fantastic. Really, that is.
Just to see people, go from,
just regular people to actual, when I say men, I mean like disciplined men, doing what they're supposed to, like you said, following directions and everything else.
Yeah, just to see the change has got to be amazing.
Make themselves better. It is fantastic.
It's magical. It's magical what happens when they transform from what we call civilians to a sailor. It's a very magical thing. I've been through it. I've witnessed it. On the other side, looking in, it's you're taking a bunch of people that just all there for the same reason, and you kind of what you're doing is you're pushing through a pipeline of training to the point where they're ready to go. They're ready to take on the responsibilities of being a sailor.
Exactly.
That is very true. So what do you think is the best part of, as far as a learning experience since you've been in the active military?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the biggest thing was to step up and be a leader. And, leadership is, it's taught. And it's bred into you and stuff like that. And, making a call to, make a decision where it's like, well, if you make the decision, how is it going to affect the rest of the people underneath you? And you got to sometimes, make a decision that, was, the best decision for most, and you try to keep it to the point where it's like, hey, okay, this is what we're going to go with it. Some people may disagree and stuff like that, but, we come together as a team. So that's the other half of it, teamwork, able to, people skills and, move forward with, being attached to, different things, different tasks, and going out there and, pushing yourself to the limit. I think that's, kind of sums that one up.
Yeah. My son our son's 13, and he actually wants to join the military someday.
Sure.
He's talked about it since he was like 5.
Well, that's where it usually starts. I mean, you got kids that come in, they have different outlooks of what they want to do. You got kids that are hands-on, smart. You got kids that are bookworms. You got kids that are like athletic. We usually push them in the Navy SEAL, Spec Op programs.
And then you got badass kids like yourself that at one point probably weren't even thinking about it.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't taking it in and stuff like that. It has been mentioned in the past, before I, decided to make the leap of faith and, go to basic training, and join the Navy, but, it was the best decision. If it was bad of a job.
How hard was it in basic training for anybody who's never been?
Well, it's basically a culture shock, and you go there, you don't know what to expect and stuff like that. You kind of have an idea, but if you're not prepared, and like myself, I was only in delayed entry program for 7 days. I wasn't prepared. I really didn't know what to expect and stuff like that. I just went and kind of went with the flow. In basic training, there's a lot of it has to do with, mental stability. Basically, you'll be physically in shape. I was in the best shape of my life before I left there. Eating good, sleeping right. Just learning how to be, in the Navy.
When did you decide to go into the military? At what point?
It was the summer. It was presented to me in the summer of 1999. That year, I was working for Bob Thomas Ford, Lincoln Mercury. It was, like I said, it was presented to me. I just, I didn't get the concept of this is probably, a great idea. And then it just hit me one day. It says, let me just go down and talk to a recruiter. Let me hear what he's got to say. And at that point, it was a good decision, and I went forward. So
that's fantastic.
Sure is, because last I knew, you were in the automotive field. After being a graduate of Platt Tech and whatnot.
Yes, I was. I was, and I did learn a lot at Platt Tech, and I still work on my cars, and I still tinker around my toys and stuff like that, and it's not like the education with the waste. Just got to go out and do something else, and just move forward, and learn a new skill set, and and whatnot. So.
Well, you were a heck of a wrestler at that time, too, prior to the military.
Yeah, I think that's where, some of my athleticism came in, as far as, working out with Coach Swan and, because, he could have been pretty tough and, but he definitely did train some very good athletes and stuff like that. And then as far as the physical stuff, with that, went in hand with basic training, so I knew what to expect as far as physical stuff, and I did well there, just, trying to get myself right, in my head. Once I came around with that, everything was good.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of mentality to do it. Not everybody's got their head in the game to be in the military.
And that's true. I mean, the military is not for everybody, and that's, stated all the way across the board, there's a lot of mental strain sometimes, and a lot of tough times, and stuff like that, and the soldiers and sailors and military, overseas and stuff like that, and a lot of them got families and and stuff like that, and they got a lot on their plate. So
exactly. I can remember when I was a little kid, my grandmother and I used to wait for the bus across from this army. It was a place where the guy was recruiting for the Army. The guy was real nice. He was trying to recruit me in the Army as a little kid. Of course, he was kidding around, but I thought it was kind of cool, even as a little kid to learn, and that's where I got my respect for the military.
Sure.
That I met this man. I think he gave me my respect for the military because I was still kind of young and didn't realize what was going on.
Yeah. The thing about it is that nowadays, the military's got a tough job, especially all the things going on in the world right now. We're pretty much spread thin and stuff. But I will say that my colleagues out there are doing real well, and we're doing fantastic things, and national recognition has always been one of those things where it's like, okay, it's much appreciated, especially like today, Memorial Day, the big deal. So
exactly. So what does this day mean to you?
Oh, that's another great question. Especially for your listeners out there right now. It comes back to just where what people have done to sacrifice, their sacrifices for this country and preserve our way of life. whether it's they did their time and came unscathed, they got hurt, lost somebody, friends and stuff like that, or even the ultimate is giving their own lives so this way we can go on with ours. Those people there are definitely heroes in my eyes, and in the majority of the population as well in the United States. I'm very sure and very certain that they feel the same way.
Well, what I like about it is many people actually get to travel to many destinations otherwise they would have never done because they didn't have the finances or whatever.
And they get to see all kinds of new things and exciting, places at times, I'm sure. It's exciting because it's a new place, I should say.
Right. You're absolutely right. That's one of those things where, that attracted me towards the Navy, especially when it comes to travel and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, and and those memories will never leave. I can remember all the great times I've had, and and like the biggest thing that I remember, and I can still hold to this day, is that your best friends, a lot of your best friends out there, you've met in the military, and those guys will be your best friends forever, no matter what.
That is true. All right, well, thank you, Dominic, for joining us today on Teal Time. Is there anything else you'd like to say before you get out of here? I know you're a busy person.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to go to bed, get back to work tomorrow. But I just want to thank everybody. Thanks for letting me on your show, Ray. It's definitely great. Anybody else out there, happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to your fiance. Saying congratulations, and just let me know if you guys want me back.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right. Well, we just heard from Dominic Giuliano. He's a Navy recruiter, if I got that right. I believe he has a new title. Last time I seen him, he was a Navy recruiter, though. As he was explaining that, I did propose, and we are, in fact, getting married and whatnot, which is a good day.
Yes, it was. It was a fantastic day.
But more or less, the main part of the day, goes to our soldiers. Like he spoke of all, the great things.
Not only to our soldiers that have passed on, but to our soldiers that are still fighting in the war, and those who may be laying in a hospital bed hurt from fighting in this war for us. They gave up a lot for us, and, hey, we love them, we salute them,
I mean, I've had friends that have had good experiences, and I've had friends that have had bad experience where one dude ended up in the hospital because he had, something shot his way. I'm not going to give names and everything of that sort.
No, but I mean, I only know from watching the news, and I've seen where in the news that they've shown where soldiers have lost body parts, arms, legs, and they've done it fighting for our country. And I respect them, too, just as much as the ones that are in our war fighting right now. Because, they did it fighting for us, protecting us. So I give them a lot of respect for that.
Exactly. A big old salute to everybody that's ever served in the military.
To salute.
All right, now moving on, we're going to do a little more. In upcoming weeks, we have interviews. We're in the process of getting together from up and coming, from local bands to nationally known, but they're still unsigned for what reason we'll never know. I mean, they're fantastic artists and everything, and they're just going to be a special treat for us. We also have our great shows that everybody knows about, such as this one, and we have our other one, which isn't as serious. It's just a more of a party atmosphere or happy hour.
Yeah, just a happy hour, just a little bit of fun, It's supposed to be fun for everybody to enjoy and laugh and, just have a good time.
Exactly. That's what it's about on here. But as you've seen, when my buddy Dominic got on here, we're not about degrading people. We're not about downgrading. There's some people out there that just ask all these questions, to disrespect somebody. If somebody's a guest on your show, you need to show them respect. I mean, that's my opinion as far as how I view the media and everything. There's no reason to downgrade. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they did. There's no reason to downgrade them and ask all these questions. You got the news for that.
Yep, and not only that, but you know what? Some stuff is just not our business.
And we don't know the backbone or the backstory behind things either. It's just like, with the Jags with Justin Blackmon, where they're, talking about, he's now suspended for 4 games and everything, didn't pass the test or whatever. The way I look at it, I don't know the backstory of it. I don't know if he arrived late for a piss test, 5 seconds, and somebody said, that, all right, now you're suspended. We don't know that.
We don't know what happened. It could be just about anything.
Exactly. And the moral of this story is, if you don't know, there's no reason to assume, because when you assume, we all know what that equals out to be.
Exactly. We're not going to say it on air, of course, because this is a day of respect. Yeah,
it's a day of respect and salute to the military.
That's right.
Who have, given their lives, who are, our hearts and prayers go out to everyone serving.
Of course.
And
their families, of course, because, I'm sure they're missing their family members while they're away fighting or whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's all about respect.
Sure is.
The reasons behind things matter none. It's just the fact to them that they got to do a job. It's just like anybody else going out and doing a job.
Exactly. They need to do what they got to do, and that's what they do in the military.
And that's what they get paid to do. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but,
exactly.
Who are we to say one way or another? That's how I look at it.
We don't know what it's like until we're in their shoes.
Exactly, and if you haven't walked a mile in somebody's shoes, then you really have no right to speak on it, period.
Exactly. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
That's a good...
And that's how I feel.
That's a good metaphor right there. I like that one.
Yep.
Other than that, we're going to cut it to the normal time of a half an hour today.
Yes, we are.
Because we've got a lot of things lined up and a lot of things we have to do ourselves. And for the main part, we just wanted to do this show, to show respect to the military. And I'm glad, that we actually had someone that recruits for the Navy.
Yes, we are. We're glad to have you, Tom.
Come in and, talk about what it's like, because we're just civilians, and civilians don't know much.
We don't. We only know what... Oh, that's basically all we can do.
Yeah, we can assume till the cows come home.
Exactly, but we don't know until we've stepped into the military shoes.
Yeah, we don't know what's actually going on, nor do we have the right to really ask them what's going on, because...
It's not our business. And not only that, but they work hard, the military, so you need to respect them. And when you see anybody in the military, whether it be a man or a woman, you should walk up and salute them or shake their hand. Show them respect. Yes,
because they fought for our country, and they're the reason that we're free today. I mean, some people will, downgrade it and say, well, what's free? We got to pay for everything, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, you have a car you can drive.
Exactly.
You have a house you can go in, and if you don't have a house, you have a shelter you can go to.
Or an apartment of some kind. And not only that, but you know what? You don't have to worry about somebody telling you got to go here, you have to do this way, or that way. You have to eat this food, go to the bathroom at this time. You know what I'm saying? We're very lucky.
I mean, if you watch a lot of TV, then that could be otherwise, but...
Yeah.
But, I mean, you shouldn't believe everything that you watch on TV or you... But thank you for joining us on Chill Time Radio. This is CT Jags, in other words, Ray.
And Miss Chrissy.
And y'all have a wonderful evening. Join us tomorrow at 11 p.m. Take care.